Hey folks, I am here with the ladies from Tammy's Always Dying. We have the director, Amy Jo Johnson. Thanks for being here.
Hello, thanks for having me.
And the lead, Anastasia Phillips. Ladies, your film is premiering at TIFF. This had to be
Very excited.
super exciting news. Where were you when you got the news?
Oh my gosh, I was on Cape Cod actually, in P-Town with my family, with my daughter and some friends. And I was over the moon, and I called this Anastasia right away.
That's right, and I pictured you on a dock in Cape Cod, and I was at my farmhouse, which is north of Creemore. Yeah.
So both in nice little escape places.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you get a phone call, or how did you get the news?
I got a phone call.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're nearing the end of August, and TIFF is a mere week and a half away.
It's coming so quickly.
It is.
This premieres on the 5th.
It is on the 5th.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's on opening night.
Opening night at 6 o'clock, Scotiabank.
At 6 o'clock at Scotiabank Theatre in downtown Toronto. If you are here, you have to go see
Yes,
it.
and then we're on Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Our timing is, we got such great time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Scotiabank again,
Yeah.
and then the last Saturday on the 14th at 1 p.m. at Scotiabank.
These are all the public screenings, correct?
That's right.
Yes.
So there's 3 options to see this film, Tammy's Always Dying. You can get all the information on the TIFF.net website. But talking about the film itself, and I got a chance to see it, and it was just a lovely, tragic, comic, tough, mother-daughter tale.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that in the director's notes you talk about, like, you didn't have this exact relationship with your mom, but you had some similar experiences in your life that really kind of hooked you to the script.
Yeah,
So can you just
with my
touch
family.
upon-
So my
Yeah.
mother actually, she passed away of cancer almost 20 years ago, and Tammy in the film gets cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at that and grabbing onto parts of that, and then my father is a non-functioning alcoholic, and very similar in a lot of ways to Tammy with his charismatic, absurd sort of sense of humor.
Right.
So, that's what drew me to the script, which was written by Jo and Anastasia. She's this amazing, wickedly funny human being. I love her to death. And she wrote such a beautiful, beautiful story that I feel super blessed and excited to have been able to make into a movie with this lady.
With this lady. And now, before we get to this lady over here, you're an actor too, and most people probably know you from your acting days, and you've had a very long, successful career. Did you ever look at the character in this film and think you wanted to play it?
No, I really wanted. So in my first feature I did was called The Space Between, and I was in that film. But I really wanted for my second feature to just wear the director's hat and really focus on that job.
And
really
so enter this lady here. Did you know that, did you have her in mind, Anastasia, for the lead, or did you audition?
We had auditions, and when I saw Anastasia's tape, I knew. I was like, there she is. That's my Kathy. Because I looked really long and hard, and I looked through a lot of tapes, and then we had in-person auditions after that, narrowed it down to Anastasia, and she came in, and me and Joanne just looked at each other.
She's our baby.
Yeah, you're so wonderful in it. Like,
You really are, and your performance. And I was thinking of this. I was thinking of how it's all over the place, but in a good way, because your character actually really does go to all sorts of places. It's a tough role. How did you find your hook into it?
Well, I also lost my mother to cancer. So I had and I didn't know that Amy had gone through that same tragedy in her life. But I understood the nuances of what it's like to care for somebody that you care so deeply about. I also, I kind of love playing these lovable losers because it just takes so much pressure off. Like I know what it is to be disappointed in life, and it's just nice and it's nice not to have to pretend to have it all together. So I just love playing Kathy with all of her flaws.
Right.
And
This is not an Instagram portrayal of life, right? Where everything is
No.
picture perfect and beautiful.
Not at all.
No, and
No.
Amy would never let it go that way.
Yeah, no.
And she was so good about making everything just as real and kind of like gritty as possible without trying to overdo it.
Yeah.
And it was not a vanity
And the
project.
two of them, Felicity Huffman, who plays Tammy, and Anastasia, just like brought their A game. Like you guys showed up 150%.
It was a nice, head to head. A lot of scenes where it's just they're going at it.
Yeah.
It must have been so fun to do that.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
I just remembered what was so interesting. Remember, Felicity said, what's a great idea that I love on sets is when you tell the actors they're not allowed to bring their script. And I was like, I love that, because that means you have to show up prepared.
Yes.
And I remember telling Anastasia that. And what did you think about that?
I was terrified. I was terrified.
True.
But also I thought, I'm going to go with it. Let's see. I'm so open to...
So had you not worked that way
I've never
before?
worked that way.
Yeah.
But I also found
Wow.
sides in Felicity's pocket. Not to rat her out.
Oh no,
Not to rat her out. And
Wait a
because when Clark came, he was
Arms
like,
across.
God, I know, I'm not allowed to be doing this. Like, everyone was so fearful of getting caught.
Oh my god. And the only one who got caught was Felicity herself. Well,
Sorry,
now she's been
Anastasia,
outed.
Wait.
Sorry, Felicity, I love you. No, it's a wonderful way to work because you just have to internalize everything. Then you're just ready to play. Then you can go anywhere that you need to go.
Yeah. It
And
gives you freedom.
total freedom.
I
But
loved
there was
that.
such an economy of text. Like this film goes so many deep places with so few words, and there are so many moments that are built in between the lines that, like, really, it wasn't about the words.
Yeah.
The words.
Right.
And then so that must be great. I'm just thinking back to when I was an actress and didn't quite learn my lines all the time. If I act again, I don't think I would ever do that. I think I would always learn them so much so that it's like it
Lives inside
just-
you.
Yeah. So then those in between spaces can come out.
Space between us.
Space between. Look at how it just came full circle there. I like that.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose.
I
Yeah,
know,
well
it
done.
looked very fun. I do want to touch on something you just mentioned about this loser. Because
I love
no,
Kathy.
I didn't define her a loser at all. This is just what life
You're
has dealt her
She
with hard
has
knocks.
she has been dealt a losing hand.
Yes.
That is more,
Yes, and she's gonna
Appropriately.
fight tooth and nail
Yeah.
to make something out of that.
yeah.
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 But you talk about the concept of nothing people in the film, and I loved that idea because the characters they're really poor, and poverty does not give you a lot of opportunity. It is very hard to claw your way out of that, right? And so that idea of nothing people, I don't know if you could just
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
touch on that. And
Well, so Joanne Sarrazin, who wrote the script,
Mhm.
wrote that. Obviously, she wrote that line because she wrote the script, and that I think that was such. That in reading the script and first hearing it, that section in that line, I really
yeah,
grabbed
it's
onto
heartbreaking.
that. It is heartbreaking, and I kind of understand that mentality, and it's just interesting, seeing Tammy living in there and not letting her daughter sort of almost like seeing herself in her daughter too much, like
Right.
yeah. It's a huge part of the script. I almost said more of the lines in the movie, but I don't want to give the movie
Yeah,
away.
it is a beautiful moment when she says that line. That line to me, I wanted to write it down, and then I thought I shouldn't quote it but I did write it down for my own
Yeah,
sake.
yeah,
And I
because
think
it comes
really
up.
is-
That's a theme that comes up through the entire film.
Yeah.
and sort of resolves itself a bit at the end,
Mhm.
which is important.
I like this idea that it's the same thing with poetry, and I feel like Sylvia Plath said it. You can really write poetry about the most minute things, the most everyday things. It's a matter of articulating just what it means to be alive. So these people don't really have a story, not in the Hollywood sense,
Right.
but they do have a story. You're not having a story as a story. You're fighting for a story as
Yeah.
a story, and giving those people a voice, what Joanne did with the script,
Yeah.
is what's so beautiful about the film.
Yeah.
It really is a beautiful film. It will make you want to go home and hug your mom or your dad.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe have a little more empathy for your parents, I think, because we don't know the lives that they've had to lead before they got to us, right? And what made them the way they are. So it's just,
But
I found
at the same time, the movie really is about letting go.
Sure,
And
yeah.
letting go of those apron strings, the codependent
Yes.
relationships that aren't serving you well.
Yeah, and there's a whole storyline we haven't really discussed about how you do sort of take advantage in some ways of your mom's suffering and try to turn that to your benefit by appearing on a, well, I don't even know how much
It's so
I would.
fascinating
but it
hearing
really
how
is
some
interesting.
Right.
Interesting.
So glad you understood the film.
Well,
So glad it makes
you
sense.
know, I mean, it makes so much sense. Like the anger sometimes that you would feel for what you've lived through with your parents, and then trying to make something out of that. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of books in this film, ladies. I got a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So-
really meaningful to hear because I think that's all we try to do, just connect to like the deepest part of others in making films.
And like I said, even if you don't have a parent who's dealing with this exact thing, there are just so many themes in it that I think anybody can relate to. So if this is one of the Canadian films that we are just so proud has been chosen to screen at TIFF, the number
so
one film
exciting.
festival in the world,
Yeah.
may we say, right here in Toronto, coming up. And this film, Tammy's Always Dying, is one you should definitely see. So watch out for these two ladies. They'll be around town, maybe. Maybe you'll bump
Oh
into
yeah,
them.
we're at every screening.
Yeah, please come say
Every
hi.
screening, they'll be doing
Q&A.
Q&As.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just Q&A after
Yes.
all three screenings.
We want to hear from everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, ladies. And sorry we placed you right in the fern there, Anastasia. Yeah, you
It's
can
all
go
right.
hide now.
It's my natural habitat.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.